So now we will first create a new Android Studio project. Again, empty this, and then we say that we are talking about constraint layout and widgets. So they will be different constraints, layouts and widgets. I want to go into the OP and then IX 721000, and then let me take this one and then go there. Yep, we want to go there. This is a week number 2. Okay, and we open this one, and then we have this one, the constraint layouts and so on. Fine, so we are not doing anything else yet. Close it. So we will try to look at all these different type of buttons, and in the meantime we will be also working with those constraints. Okay, so as you know that by default this particular is what you can say that all the constraints it is a constraint layout. Fine. So if I just put particular button here, then look at that, we can align themselves. Okay, left of this one should align it to the right of this one. So look at that, the top of this one should align itself to the bottom of this one. So we can do all these kind of constraints inside our design view as well. But as I told you that in the if we look at that, the start of this one should to the end of this one, or the top of this one should be the bottom of this one. Yeah, start or end. Okay, that's more kind of what you can say that if I just go back to design view, this one, the left of this one, it is saying that start, and the end. So normally start is the top left corner and the end is the right bottom corner. Okay, so we have these constraints. So let me remove all those constraints, and there's nothing right now inside the constraint layout. And first of all we want to check the button. There's a simple button. Okay, so we will put a button here. Again, we don't want to use the match parent instead of wrap content. We can put the text and text button. Okay, what else? We need to put some constraints. It's asking me. If I look at that, tool ignore missing constraints. So do you want to suppress this particular warning or no? But of course we are going to put some constraints here. If I try to look at the preview, whenever you are putting a new thing, it will always go to the top left corner by default. It will align itself. Okay, now as I told you, we will provide the ID here. So we can say that first button, and then we need to give some constraints. What are the constraints? Left to the left of, look at that, layout underscore constraint left. It means we are constraining the left side of this particular button to the left of. Left of what? When we press enter here, we either we can give the ID of some other component, or we can say that parent. When you say parent, it means that particular specific constraint is trying to stick it to the left of the parent. And then if we try to also constrain the right side to the right of the parent, look at that. So what is happening if we go back to the design view and I want to see show all constraints. So look at that, we have these two constraints. What does it mean? The left of this one should align itself to the left of the parent. Right of this one should align itself to the right of the parent. And because right and left, they are both pulling with the equal force, the effect of this one, it is aligned itself to the horizontal center. And we can add more space up and down. For example, if I say something like this, no, it's not allow me. We also have that particular specific force. That force, yeah, here is that particular force. So we can, if I just try to increase the force towards right side, it will move towards right. And if I say that it is 50-50, it means it will be try to stick into the center of this one. We can also put some space on the right side, and if I just try to put the same space over the right, again it will become center lined. So we are putting the space here right at the edge where we want to align it, understand? But right now I just put 0 here and 0 here. So this is what we have here, and still it is showing me that red line over there. Actually, whenever we want to align, we are putting some widgets inside the constraint layout, it will ask us to give two type of constraints. One is horizontal and one is the vertical. We have applied only the horizontal one. The vertical is still missing. Okay, so that's why it is still showing me that particular specific thing. Maybe by default that particular top of this particular widget or the button is aligned itself to the top of the parent. And if we try to give this particular constraint the top to the top of the parent, then it will remove that particular red line over here. Let me go here so that you can see the complete code. I just put that constraint and that red line go away. The reason is that we have put both type of constraints, horizontal as well as the vertical. So inside the constraint layout by default force itself that whatever widget you are putting over there, you will align, you will provide two types of constraints, vertical as well as horizontal, so that it can position that particular component at a specific location. And if you are not providing, it is just a warning, you can say that. It will not stop you. Like if I just try to remove that particular constraint and run that particular specific application, run, it will not like error or it is not an error or something. It will work perfectly fine even with that particular warning shot is there. So let's see, it is running, scanning the installing the APK. So everything is built, compiled, and it will come down here. Where is my button? Yeah, we can click on that particular button. So even that particular vertical constraint is not there, it's just a warning. Okay, we can ignore that particular warning or we can provide it. So let me keep that warning there. Now we have this particular button, colored button, where we are using a specific style. So we add a new button here, wrap content. We can say that colored button, text is colored button, and then we put the style, add the rate of Android, and then we have style slash dot. Okay, maybe we can just simply say style button app compat, no? Okay, button. So we have, look, we have button bar, style, media, hello, we can continue with that, widget, app compact, button, radio button, bar button, image button, compound. So it was widget, app compact, checkbox button. Yeah, material design is also there. We can put the borderless. What exact the type we are using the app compact button colored. So dot okay, we can say that app compact. Let me take this one from here. What is that one? It's app compact widget style. So it is not here, it is like this, add the rate of style. So we can simply, if I just try to again try to do that button, so we have style, add the rate of style, widget, app compact button. So you can say that borderless, colored. So when you say colored, button and colored, sorry, it is text appearance is coming up. So again we need to say that. Okay, app compat button colored. So you can see that, I mean, this is, we have multiple and as we have seen that we also have the material design that we will be talking about a bit later, but we also have, and by default, look at that, it is by default is going to the left, top, bottom, sorry, left and top by default. That's a 0 0 position. If you don't put any constraints, it will automatically go there. And if you put multiple things, for example, I put another button, I just copy paste it here. Now there are two buttons at the same position. And maybe, I mean, if I can show you, for example, if I say that the height is the match parent, you can see that the button is there, but it's right behind the other one. So then we need to put some constraints over there. And what are those? Again, we want to make it center line or left or right. Left to the left of, you want to make it right?
We can make it left by saying the button.
No.
Left of button.
And top to bottom of above button.
Parent, and then we also need to put this particular button behind or below this one. Okay, so we have given the ID, so we can use that particular ID, that top to the bottom of, here, top to the bottom of what? We can say that this particular first button, and here we can also give the ID so that we can say that second colored button. Okay, so now you can see that it is, because we have only put the left constraint here, left to the left of the parent, so that's why it is not aligning itself to the center. And if we put some margins, for example, I say margin top 20 dp, so it will leave that particular space. Let me put it 10 dp, and again this particular button in which we don't have any constraint, it is still sticking to that particular top left corner. Again we can say that right, constraint right to the right of parent, so it will go towards the right of that particular parent. and we also want the top to the bottom of ID second colored button. So again it will go down below this one. Okay, is it fine? So we can, I mean, if I want something which is vertical center, then which two constraints I need to give? If I say left to the left of the parent, right to the right of the parent, that will become horizontal center. But if I want something vertical center, what I need to do?
Top to the top of the parent, bottom to the bottom.
So let's have that particular button here, and let me change that particular color. Let me go with that particular specific material. A material, do we have the material here? No, I think we need to go with that particular at the rate of Android, and then we have material button. So maybe say borderless. So you can see that it is becoming a borderless button. Material design is also coming up over there.
No color.
Sorry, I mean borderless without any color and so on. You also have the background color here, background tint, background color. Okay, let me change accent. Yep, you can see that it is changing that background color. Again, look at that, there is no space between white space. Maybe we want to put some padding here, 10 dp. So look at that. I mean, if I just remove this particular part, it's very sticking. And then when I put, oh sorry, where is that? I do that, it put a white space between that. Again, that particular specific right side is very much sticking to the wall. We can put some margin to the right side of that one, 10 dp. We can do that. So all different flavors you can have it here. Okay, we have this particular button. Let me copy this particular button here. And we are trying to stick colored dot borderless colored. Okay, so that will become this one. I say that left of the parent, and then I don't want to put it here. I want the top to the top of the parent, and then I say that bottom, where is the constraint bottom, to the bottom of the parent. So look at that. But the point is, this is our fourth button actually. This is a fourth button, and here we can say that ID and ID, and this is our third button. Oh, I'm putting over there. So look at that. If I just do that, it is actually aligning itself vertically. And if I say that I want something which is right here, vertically and the horizontal center, what I need to do?
Left to the left of parent, right to the
I mean, we need to apply 4 constraints. Left to the left of the parent, right to the right of the parent. So that will become horizontal center. Top to the top of the parent, bottom to the bottom of the parent. Automatically, it will come in the middle or the center of the screen, horizontal as well as vertical. Okay, so we can do that. Fine. So these are the different type of, you can see that, I mean, different type of styles that you can see over here. Borderless. Okay, we see that dot, I mean dialog, small, overlap. So we have different borderless colored. So here it is a borderless, but it is a colored one. And I also change the background of this one here, the third button, the fourth button. So these are the different type of constraints that we can apply. Okay, let me add another layout here. I right click on that. I want to put another layout resource file. Second layout, again we want to keep that constraint layout there because we are going to play with the constraint layout only, and as I have given this particular capital L, it is not going to be acceptable. As you know that inside the resource files we always have the small cap letters inside their names. Fine, so it is a constraint layout which is there. Now I will show you that how we can add the vector graphics. What are those vector graphics? What I did, I right click on that particular drawable folder, I go to the new and I say that I want to have the vector assets. When say vector assets, so we can select, we have a lot of possible icons available, we can use them for our purposes. Tag face, I say okay, you want to change the color of that one, maybe I can say blue, choose this one. You want to override the size of this one, maybe I say I want to make it 100 by 100 so that a little bit bigger. Okay, and when I finish that particular specific face, I think that it is a blue one, so we need to put that blue. Okay, so we have this one, so that we can giving a meaningful name. We know that's a blue, it's not a black one. So if we go back to my previous one, we can add more buttons here. Again, button, wrap content. I want to put a text here, button with icon, and then I say that drawable. Now look at that, drawable to the bottom and left, or drawable padding. If we want to leave space between the text and the right, so if I just say right, it is asking me that which drawable you want to use. So we have that particular BLUE blue. Yep, so look at that, it is taking that particular specific, but again it is sticking to that particular specific position. So what we need to do, we can say that top, top to the top of, left to the left of parent, right to the right of parent, and then we want to put it below this fourth button or the third button. Again we can decide top to the bottom of, we can put that particular third button, so it is coming down here. Okay, so we can play with that particular, so we can say that that particular drawable left, it will go to the left. If we say that drawable end, again it is going to the right side. And mean this particular, this one end, and this is start. Okay, so it is trying to stick itself to the bottom right corner. Fine, we can say that drawable, where's the top one, drawable top, it will come on the top of this one. We can put that particular, if I just look at that drawable padding, so if I say 10 dp, so look at that, it will put the space between the image and the text, depending on that image is on the left side of that particular text, on the top of that one, or on the bottom of this one. We can also have this one bottom, so it will come down. Again, that padding is applicable only between the text and here, it will put some space over there. If I just increase this one to 50, so you can see that the distance between the text and the image. So there are the multiple ways to play with that. So this is again a button. what else we have here? We have this type of buttons, text button. So you can see that these are the different type of styles. You can play with that. We have seen the image, but we have only see the buttons with the drawables. Okay, this button with text and image. We also have the image button. How we can, let me add another drawable here, a vector graphics here. So we have the vector graphics again, car, change the sizes 50 by 50, choose, it is a green one, and that size is also 50 dp, not the 24 one. Finish. So maybe I can put another button here. Let me go like this, button, wrap content, and sorry, we are not going to use the button, we are going to use the image button. So when we say image button, so we have source is equal to green, and look at that, it is coming right on the top. So if I say that I want to make it what, I want to make it left, to the left of the parent, I want right to the right of the parent, and then I say that top to the top of the parent, and then I also want, actually I am aligning it to the right center of the screen, bottom to the constraint bottom, bottom to the bottom of the parent. So look at that. Okay, this is also right. So you can see that it is actually coming right in the middle of the screen, vertically as well as horizontally. So these are different types of buttons that we have seen. Is it fine or not fine? So let me go to the second one, and then we have multiple things. First of all, we have the text view. We have text view, and we can look at those. So first of all, we have text view. I say wrap content, I put some text, and then I say that we have text size, I make it 20 sp, and then we have text color, I say accent, and then I say text, why this text size is, text style, I say bold, and then as I told you, I put a pipe sign, and then I can put italic. Okay, why this 30? Okay, let me make it 30, and then we have not put any constraints here. I don't want to put constraints, I want to keep it there, so I don't need to. What I will do again here, what's happening? Okay, actually it is because of that. So here I want to put the constraint, it will be aligned itself to the center. Okay, so I say that left to the left of the parent, and then right to the right of the parent, and I also try to make that particular specific, what you can say, that the height 100 dp. Okay, and then I try to use that particular specific thing. These two proper height we have changed, and then I change that particular property auto size text type. Okay, in that particular specific. So we say that auto size text type uniform. So look at that, it is try to cover the complete height. Okay, Okay, this was a match parent height, width is a little bit bigger. Let me increase the this one as well, like 200 dp, so you can see that. And now you can see that it is aligned towards the text itself, is aligned towards the left of this one. So we can also align it to the center, text alignment, center. We can also say that text, look, all caps. We want to make it true or false. I want to make it true, it will become all. So these are the different properties that you can explore. Okay, so right now we don't want to move it below, it should keep it like that. And then if I want another text which is going to the right of this one, I just try to copy paste the same text. It is actually, now we have two texts here, and I put a constraint here that right to the right of the parent, so you can see that. Fine, these are the, what you can say that our texts. Yep.
That auto size type, text type, it doesn't align itself according to width, only according to height?
No,
Only according to
with both.
both.
With both. Look, here we have 200, so width is more as compared to the height. So whatever this smaller is, it will try to expand itself. I remember if I say that only the wrap content, for example, again let me make it wrap content. So look at that, height is 100, and because now it is, the T is going to the next line, because the size is smaller, it will try to cover complete, like try to cover the complete height, and then it's breaking that particular text as well. Understand?
Yes.
So it's not that based on the height or width, based on both the properties. It will try to, like, because now we are giving more width, so accordingly it is trying to increase the size. So with respect to the both properties, it will see how much space it has, accordingly it will try to increase the size of that one. Okay, this is right. Now we have seen the text views. Let's see the checkboxes. So we can say that we want to have the checkboxes here. We can say that checkbox, wrap content, I want to put text, so we say that checkbox, and we want to put some constraints. I say that top to the top of the parent, bottom to the bottom of the parent, fine. And then fine, I mean I should keep it like that. I don't want to put the horizontal constraint because I want to keep it on the left side, so I put the horizontal. But now if I want something here at this particular position, so let me keep this one here. I say that this is my checkbox 1, this is my checkbox 2. Okay, so I have this one, but now we have two checkboxes at the same position. I have put another constraint here, right to the right of the parent, so automatically checkbox 2 go there. Fine. I want to put small image here, and you know that what is an image. We have the image view. Again I say wrap content, I want to put that particular source equal to green one. Okay, so again look at that car is right on the top left corner. I want to put right in the middle of the screen, so I need to put 4 constraints. Left to the left of the parent, right to the right of the parent, top to the top of the parent, and then bottom to the bottom of the parent. So ultimately it is coming down here. Let me put a
Can you
what you can say that the ID here, center car.
can,
I'm just giving the name, that particular specific image view.
but can you also like assign it the right side to checkbox 1 and then left side to checkbox 2?
That's what I'm trying to do. That's why I put it right in the middle so that I can circle around something. You are at the right position. Okay, so let me circle around with this one. So now I have this car. So let me, I don't want to assign any name here. I keep those constraints here. Now it's there. I want that this should go right on top of this one. Or I can also, what I can do here, I make that particular specific height and width 100. But the reason is that I also want to show you some other things as well. So now it's a little bit bigger. Okay, this one is smaller. So I say that I want to have this particular car, this is the new image, right middle aligned. So for example, it should be above that. So the bottom of this one, I mean, I can do something like this. So look at that, it automatically put a constraint, the bottom to the top of the center car. I mean, we can do something like this as well. So this is already done. Now I say that left to the left of center car. So now look at that. If you look at that, we have two constraints. The bottom of this one align itself to the top of this one. The left of this one align itself to the left of this one. If I put another constraint here,
Right to the right.
what will happen? Okay, I don't want to put any margins here, sorry. So we have wrap content, we have this. Okay, it is end of this one. I don't want something like that. I should say that the right to the right of that car. So now look at that, it is center aligned with that particular specific view. Understand? That's why I little bit make it a little bigger so that we can see that it is actually center line. If again left to the left, right to the left, again it will align into the center of that particular specific bigger image view which is in the center. Understand? Let me put one more thing here. Now I am just going to copy this thing here. It is now we have two image view here, and if I change that particular this constraint here, you can see it's coming right on top, but center aligned with this one. Understand? So now I say that the top to the bottom of car, so it will go down of that particular specific. Now if I say something on the right, I think we can just copy this one, and then I just remove these constraints here. It is there. Now I want something right here at this particular position. So we say that right, constraint right to the left of car. So it will be on the top but on the left side. Okay, so again if I just try to copy this thing here, and then I say that now what I want to do, I want to constraint left to the right of car. So look at it, it's going there on the, it's on top because we are saying this thing, the bottom to the top of this one, but now say that the left of this particular image view should align itself to the right of this one. So on top but on the right side. And similarly, if I just again copy, now I will remove this one here, and then I say that top to the top of center, and I also say that to the bottom of the center. So now it will be like aligning. If we look at that, it is aligning itself in the middle of this one. I mean, how many constraints are there? So top to the top of this one, bottom to the bottom of this one, left to the right of this one. So 3 constraints we have applied, it go there. If I want something here, I will keep everything same for this one, but the right of this one should align itself to the left of this one. So if I just copy this thing here, and then I just need to remove that particular left to the, so I mean I can simply say something like this, right to left of. And similarly, if I want something here on that bottom but on the right side, bottom but on the left side, so we can just simply do that. You can do that? Is it fine? All these constraints with respect to one thing, that's what's going on, everything. Again, if I want something here, for example, we also have those what you can say that we also have those radio buttons. Radio buttons. So we can say that wrap content. I say that text. I say that radio 1, and now I want something here. 3 radio buttons on the bottom side and left, right, and middle. So I say that bottom to the bottom of the parent. So that is what I need for this particular button here. And then I say that this is radio number 2, and then I also put that right to the right of the parent, so it will go there. And if I just try to copy paste another one, that is the radio button 3, and then I also say that left to the left of the parent and right to the right of the parent, so it will come in between. If I just want that instead of showing me this main activity when I run this application, when I'm running this particular application, it will show me this particular screen. Yes or no? By default. And you know why? I've explained you earlier in the previous week. So it show me the same thing. If I want that instead of showing me this screen, it show me this screen that we have just created. How we can do that? We have to go into the main activity.java and change that particular specific thing. And what is that? Second layout. That's the only thing. The new layout file that we have created, we are just saying that set content view r.layout.second layout. Now it will show us the second one. And if I just try to, for the future, don't ask me this question again, that which specific virtual device we want to run. So look at that. So one thing, that is fine. When we click on that. So now look at that particular specific behavior. No, that's not a right behavior for the radio buttons. Only one should be checked, provided that they are grouped together. They are representing some specific thing. So if they are representing the same thing, only one should be checked, not the all of them. So we can fix that particular problem. We have these 3 radio buttons. I just keep them. I just cut them from here, and then I have a radio group. Again, I say radio group. I say wrap content, and inside that radio group, I put these particular specific radio buttons. And when I do that and try to run my application again and see if it is working or not. Where's my, yep, it's coming. Okay, now again, let me do that. Look, it is solved our problem. That the point is, for the radio buttons, we didn't put any radio group, we didn't put any constraints, so that's why it is putting us over there. Maybe I can say that I want to put the bottom to the bottom of parent. It is coming down here. It is not like allowing us to, if I say that, I think we have the orientation here. Orientation, horizontal. Yep. We can put some space over it. It does not, I mean, it is not applying these constraints here. It is inside the radio group. So the constraints are applied only on the radio group, not inside that particular specific. So maybe I will just keep it like that. So we have seen different types of constraints. So look at that. In the beginning, there is no one which was selected. So what we can say that instead of like this radio button 1, in the beginning I want it checked. Okay, it will in the beginning, it by default this one will be checked. Where's my application? What happened? Let me run it again. Yeah, so by default this one is already checked. So if I just click on that, what happened? This particular specific problem, that this radio button which we have checked, it is not going away. Sometime it's there, sometime it is not. For some some mobiles it is like there, some it is not there. So unfortunately for this one it is there. For that we have only one way to solve. What is that? We need to, instead of having this radio button checked here, we are trying to, for example, we put the ID here and then say that ID RB1. I just try to keep it like that. Okay, this is an RB1, and then instead of making the checked inside the property, I go here. Now I will show you that how we can access that particular radio button. Remember that when I told you that whenever we are executing this particular line, when we are creating the activity object, actually it will create all these objects. A constraint layout object, it's a class, it's an object is created, text view, all these like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 image views, 2 checkboxes, 3 radio buttons. All these objects exist in our memory, in our RAM. Now we are trying to access it. As I told you that we have given this ID here. This ID we can use to connect. So here we create a radio button object RB1. Again, that's the name of the variable. You can select as whatever name you want. For example, I say that whatever. You don't consider that it is the RB1, so the variable name should be the same. No, not at all. Whatever you are already assigning it, that's a different thing. The variable name that you want to assign in the Java code, that's a totally different thing. You can select whatever you want. So okay, so I just try to say that RB, and then it is showing me the option, and then I say that equal to find by view ID. We have assigned the ID to that particular view. Now say that find that object using the ID. So we have r.id.rb1. When I do this one, now we have all those properties dot set checked, and then we say that true. And if I do that thing and try to run my application again, now that particular specific problem is solved. It is checked by default in the beginning because we have put that code here. That's why it is checked. Okay, and now when I say this, it is behaving properly. As I told you, this particular specific behavior for some Android virtual devices, it show up like that. I mean, it is the checked one inside the layout file. It is not unchecking when I selecting the other one, but not always. So it is something that new. So now you have a new thing, that how we can access the already existent widgets and the views which exist in our memory, how we can access them inside our code. We need to create the same type of variable, and then we can say that variable is equal to find by view ID, the ID that you have assigned here, using the same ID, and it will be configured. Now, as I told you, what is this R and .id? So let me remember and find that particular specific file for us. It should be inside the app, inside the build, generated source. No, not this one. The debug R nz. Yep, I think I'm on the right direction to find that particular r.java, and when I click on that, you can see that this is an R class, which is actually starting from the above and go to the, it's a very big one. Okay, so here the R class finished, but inside we have the class ID, a nested class. Like here, look at that, public static final attribute. This is a class which is present inside the R. So similarly, we can class ID. So look at that, we have that ID. Inside that ID class, we will find that RB. It is inside RB1. Look at that. And actually, it is a unique integer value which has been assigned. When we say RB1, for us it is RB1, the name, that the ID that we have provided. But actually for the Android system, it is just a unique integer value which is representing that particular object inside the memory. Understand? So it is auto-generated, but it is inside the R. So that's why we have R class. So inside the R we have the ID class. Inside the ID class we have defined this particular RB1, and that is exactly R class. Inside we have the ID class. Inside we have defined the RB1. It's a public static final integer. Final constant value, it is not going to change. Static, without creating the object of the R, without creating the object of the ID, we can access that particular, because it's static one. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Anything till now? So we have seen what? We have seen our checkboxes, we have seen our radio buttons, we can see the toggle buttons as well, and then we have the spiners that we will talk a bit later, but let me quickly work with these toggle buttons and the switches. So if I just do there, and then we have that particular, let me convert it back into the Android view, which is more simpler for us. Okay, we have not given any checkbox name, so we say ID because we want to put below and above that particular specific ID. We say that checkbox 1. Okay, so right at the bottom we can just simply go there and say that we have this toggle button, wrap content, and then say that text toggle button. We have a text on, text on. We say that toggle, okay, and text off. By default it is showing me that on and off, so we are overriding, so we can say that it's on toggle. So look at that, it's by default off. It shouldn't be off toggle. Okay, I'm just putting over there, and by default it's coming to the right top left corner, not right one, it means top left corner. Okay, I want to put it above this particular specific checkbox, So what we can do, bottom to the top of checkbox 1, and similarly we can have another one, that is a switch, capital SWS switch. Again I say wrap content, I put some text here, so my switch, and then I say that I want to put it top to the bottom of our checkbox 1. And let me, how we are going to use it, of course we have some specific reason to use those widgets. It's not like we are just checking it. So whenever you are designing your forms, you can put all those things over there. So let me go to see my, so look at that, we can see that it's now switch buttons, toggle buttons is working when it is on and when it is off. It has different text. My checkboxes are also working. So that is our end of our demonstration video for the constraint layout and different widgets. Okay, any questions?